Nation. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you all. How you doing today? Let's see here. So I just finished watching the presser from EP just a little bit. What's up, Robert? How you doing, buddy? Um, so I just figured I'd come on here, chit chat a little bit, see if anybody wants to hop on, interact with you guys. If anybody saw the press conference, what's your general take? If I move my mic down here, what's your general thought process on what you saw, what you thought about it? Um, Personally, I think it looked like the most relaxed I think I've seen AP all season long, um, which kind of makes me feel good that we're going to give him another shot. From what I'm understanding from all this, if he had any doubt, he was hiding it damn well. That's for sure. Um, so I mean, it I feel better right now. Here it is. We're almost 24 hours from when the game started yesterday, um, and it's a little bit of a clarity as to what's possibly going to happen with this next season coming up. Um, so, like I said, I mean, he definitely looked a little bit more relaxed. Probably the most relaxed and most, I guess, happy than I've seen him all season. Um, so I think he's got a little bit more confidence in himself right now going forward, just based on the body language I saw from him and the way he was interacting. Um, I think it was a good sign of things to come for this team. I was never on board with firing AP. The only way I would have been on the okay side of letting him go is if somebody like we were going to get somebody like Vrabel. So with the Patriots firing Mayo, I think that option is probably out the window. I know I said it last night when I was on that, you know, Kraft has all intentions of probably hiring Vrabel. He'll do the Rooney Rule thing. He'll, dot his I's and cross his T's and do everything he needs to do to make it legit and then hire Vrabel. So I think that's pretty much a done deal. So that pretty much takes Vrabel off the board. So I'm glad AP's staying. I really am, because I think the players really react to him. Um, I I know the fan base is kind of mixed on their feelings about him, which I really don't get. As far as I'm concerned, I think he's done what he's needed to do. To put possibly a decent product out on the field with what he had to deal with for personnel. Let's see, Robert. I love AP. Just don't think he is a head coach material, but he definitely deserves another shot at it. With that being said, they said the same thing about Madden. Yeah. I know. I just watched Leo and Rundown on their channel, um, doing a live about AP and everything, and I forget which one of them mentioned about the backlash if people would have said stuff about Madden. First of all, I mean, Al Davis would have been like, I don't give a fuck what you think, because Al Davis is Al Davis, and he's just going to do what he wants anyway. He isn't going to take in consideration anything the fans say. But the times are different now. Everybody's a Monday morning quarterback. Everybody's got internet muscles and chat rooms, and it's so quick to just pick up one of these and just say what you want, with no repercussions. So it's different today's day and age versus what it used to be. People are a lot more vocal about stuff. Plus, you got a platform to say stuff that you want to say by texting and posting shit on different social media platforms. Um, if times were different and this technology was there at that time, would people have voiced their dislike for that move? Probably. Well, not probably. I'm sure they would have. And play Tecmo Ball. Yeah, but I'm actually I I'm glad they're giving him another shot at this point. I mean, Mark Davis hasn't come right out and said it yet, um, but I'm sure that's gonna be in the mix in the next couple of days or so that, it's gonna be made official, or as what's his name said from, officially official, Rappaport. Oh, Fakasi and critique. Oh yeah, with the Tecmo Bowl, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I'm seriously gonna start looking into doing that too, and during the off season as another direction. Um, I definitely want to talk with them and figure something out. Maybe we can start like a league or something. I don't know. We can come up with something. But yeah, it just I think the direction for the team now, not it actually makes I think the start of the off season a little bit easier to deal with. Um, as far as like the direction that this team's going to go going forward. Thanks for bringing some positivity to Rain Nation, man. A lot of negativity on our social medias from a lot of content creators. Yeah, I mean, I see it. Just like the whole quarterback thing. I never said AOC was the answer permanently. Um, he's a short term answer until we get our future quarterback. Um, I I was never against drafting a quarterback in this draft. I'm totally for it. Just not one of the two in the first round. I've said this I don't know how many times. Just got a bad feeling about it. I can't put my finger on why I feel that way. Um, but I think with AP staying as the head coach, it's going to put AOC 12 in the right spot, provided we can get the right weapons around him, and that starts with offensive line. That starts with a running back, an actual decent running back room, which we don't have right now. Um, so, I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done. But the main piece of the puzzle, hopefully, based on today's press conference, is putting the right path with AP staying with the team. Um, and now it's just a matter of working with Telesco, get the other right pieces that he is hoping to get in the draft. And free agency comes first. So in free agency, re-signing the guys that we need to re-sign, and let's just pull up our pants and stop moving forward. It's time to get some stability back in this organization, um, and it starts by retaining the coach, which appears to be the move we're going. Um, it starts with now he can now start seriously looking and figuring out what he's going to do for his OC and his DC. Because if Patrick Graham's not coming back, now that's our first major challenge. So we got to find a legit defensive coordinator. And again, I said this last night. Instead, it's either we find someone from within, or we bring in a heavy hitter from the outside. Now I know Robert Saleh is another name that's been kicked around. Um, I still think there's a chance that Robert Saleh could be in a running for another head coaching job. There's four of them out there right now. There's four jobs open. So is he a fit for one of those four? Well, sorry, he's a fit for one of those three because one of them's still the Jets. He's not obviously going to go back there. So there's that. Vrabel's still out there. So I mean, not Vrabel. Um, if we go from within, it would be Leonard. I don't know why I said Vrabel. If we hire from within, Leonard would be the obvious choice. I just hope now that AP's going to stay, it would be nice if Patrick Graham would stay behind. Unless Patrick Graham's got visions of, applying and hopefully getting, a head coaching job, which I mean, I think he's earned. He's interviewed in the past. There's nothing saying that he can't, you know. Um, so I mean, that is an option that he finally changes his mind now, because I know the rumors were that he was going to move on. He didn't want to renew his contract, didn't want to stay, for any additional time, or didn't want to re-up. Um, but if he stays, that's perfect. I mean, because the guys on his defense, obviously they respect him, and they play their ass off. I mean, and it shows, with what we went through. And I think he did a hell of a job with this team this year on the defensive side, based on all the injuries we had to deal with, and the lack of depth. I mean, and the lack of depth was because of injuries. That was the problem. We lost so many key guys so early in the season, and some didn't even make it to the start of the season, with Kuntz being one of them. I mean, I know that's going to be a priority to make sure, we see about him, keeping him under wraps, bringing Spillane back. Chason's earned every right to stay with the Raiders. I think the kid's been he's been a gem since he's been with us. You can see why he was a first round pick a few years ago. He played like it this year. He played his ass off in such a short time with us. He made such a huge impact. You know, so there's so many holes that need to be taken care of now. But again, one of the biggest pieces to this puzzle is retaining the head coach. It starts that path of stability. Which again, this is something this team's lacked for years. This is something we need. Does that mean we don't move on from him at the end of the next season? Who knows? If we have another season like we just had, it's a possibility. I mean, everybody thinks he's on a 2-year contract, so this means with him being here going into next year, that means that they're looking to let him fulfill that 2-year, and then hopefully earn his way to get for to further re-sign and stay with us more on a long term. Excuse me. Chris, you want to jump on? I'll give you the link. You can jump on with me if you want. I know you like getting on here too. So, I mean, like I said, I mean, this is only good things going forward. So now, again, the first big move is figuring out what we're doing for the coaches in certain positions. Your OC, DC, what's he going to do with the offensive coordinator? Is he going to retain, what's up, Ray Paul? Is he going to retain, what do you call it? Is he going to retain Turner, or is Turner going to go to North Carolina? I mean, there's been rumors that he wants to go to North Carolina to be with Bill Belichick. So now that means we have to bring in an offensive coordinator. Do we try and bring in a heavy hitter that, wants to come here, is willing to put their career on the line to come here with the talent we have, knowing that we're probably not going to get one of those two quarterbacks that everybody and their brother wants. So there's so many different options to go at this point. Let me see here. What's up, Joseph? How you doing, brother? So I mean, this just gives me a little bit more hope for next season now, and this gives us something to build upon. And again, I think it puts us in a positive spot right from the get-go at the end of the season. The season ended last night, so here we are. We're already into the off season. Looks like AP's staying based on the press conference and some that just showed up. Now, one of the things I said at the beginning of this was that was probably the most. Here you go, Chris. That was probably the most relaxed and upbeat and comfortable looking AP I've seen in a press conference all season long. He looked like a great weight was lifted off his shoulders. I don't know if it was the fact that the season's over and he can move on now, or if it's the fact that he got the word that we're giving you another year. I know he said that he still has to meet with Telesco and Mark. I just hope that meeting isn't his egg on your face. All of us that are on here saying that looks like he's staying. All of a sudden, the last second, they decide, we're gonna let you go. What's up, Chris? What'd you think about that press conference with him today?
Like you said, I thought he was relieved. I think he knows he's going to stay there. Probably give him one more year to show something else. I mean, even if they go 7-9 or something like that, or 8-9 or whatever, that shows improvement.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
uh,
I would be happy and comfortable with anywhere from 6 to 8 wins, to be honest with you.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, as long as 3 of those wins come from within the division, that's my biggest thing.
He didn't. He looked less tense than he did last night press conference. He looked like he was worried.
Oh yeah,
Today he looked like, okay, they gave me another shot. He didn't outright say they gave him another shot, but he looked a little confident.
his
He knows
body
a lot.
language told me, his body language, his demeanor told me that, Raider Nation, everything's good. It looks like I'm going to be here for another year. That's how I took it. He seems super upbeat, and I know we've seen him smiling in other press conferences and everything, but this one just for some reason felt so different versus any other press conference that I've seen
Yeah,
him on this entire
look,
season.
he looked relaxed. I mean, I compare this press conference to the first one when they named Getsy as not Getsy, Minshew's starting
Minshew.
quarterback. He didn't look well. He looked like Minshew's the starting
Yeah,
quarterback. We're gonna go a different direction. We're gonna get a fast start. He didn't look like the AP from last year. He's up there pumping it. Even after a loss, he's
yeah.
still a little more confident. So this reminded me of the press after they beat Kansas City.
Oh yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
Day. It kind of like he was more relaxed. Like, yeah, okay, I'm coming back. He know he got a lot of work to do. A lot of work.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so many holes to fill. And like I was just saying too, like the biggest task he's got to start first right away is getting with Telesco and figuring out what they're doing with Patrick Graham. Is he definitely going to come back? Can they talk him into coming back? And
I
then
think.
also he's got to decide what he's going to do with his offensive coordinator. So those are two big things that have to be addressed without a doubt right away.
I
You
mean, the
know,
defense wasn't bad, so I don't see why let Patrick Graham walk if they can convince him to stay. Fine, if he wants to go, nothing can do about it.
well, that's
But
just it. I mean,
they're
they
still a
have to.
top defense. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm fine with him staying. I want him to stay. He's one of the coaches I didn't want to lose, but this
yeah,
is his own wording saying that he wasn't interested in an extension and re-signing back with us.
I think
Maybe
he
this
was unsure.
changes his mind. I
I
hope
think
this
he was
changes
unsure.
his mind.
I think he's unsure about AP. That's why I thought he did that because you think about it, you're not gonna sign a contract with the guy that you working with. All of a sudden is fired, and you're still there for 3 years working with some idiot coach. You know,
Yeah.
now that AP is staying, I think he will have okay. I'm gonna stay one more year unless I get a better offer. Which I don't blame him. Get a better offer, go.
I mean, my feeling is they talk him into staying, but part of the deal is listen, if AP is let go during the season next year, you will now be the interim coach. Like, tell him ahead of time. You would become the interim coach with the first shot at becoming the permanent head coach at the end of the season when we finally hire. Unless they can finagle something during the season and name him the full time coach, or put that in their contract.
Yeah,
Whereas he's the automatic replacement for AP if AP gets let go. So you
yeah.
don't lose a guy like Patrick Graham. You give him his head coaching shot, and So I mean, I could definitely see them trying to do something like that because I think that would work. It's sort of like what the Patriots did with Mayo. The
Mhm.
contract they had him with the Patriots was that if Belichick left, he was the automatic replacement. So you don't have to go through all that Rooney Rule stuff and everything. And he would just walk right into that role.
I think that's
So
why they fired me because they had that out. They said, "Well, we put
yep.
that contract a couple of years ago, so but now we don't
And I
want
think the
you."
fact that Vrabel's available and that's who they really want. I
Yeah.
think that's without a doubt. You know.
But the one
So
the one thing I did like what AP said in the press conference when he talked about his players, everybody like some guys got to go.
yeah,
We won't go. We want certain guys to stay. Some guys got to go. And I said,
yep,
"Oh, okay." So people, players in the organization were like, "Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Some and the ones that know that they need to go are probably going, "Fuck, he's talking about me."
yeah." You want
Oh,
effort out there. I mean, some players. I mean, like I heard you saying if I got on Chase on, like please re-sign that guy.
oh God, yeah. I mean, to pick him up
Definitely,
in free.
they I'm sorry. They definitely gonna keep Kuntz. AP is not gonna let Kuntz walk because he's talked about so highly. He's not gonna let
Yeah.
Kuntz walk.
Nah.
Chase
Nah.
him. He signed him. Diablo.
Yep, I'm fine with that one too. Bye bye. Spillane, definitely. You know.
Splain lost a step, but he's a great linebacker leader. He likes his leadership. That's what AP likes
Yeah.
about
Well,
him.
I think with Spillane, what happened with him is because with Max, once Max was out of the defense and had the surgery and all that,
Mm.
everything kind of reverted back to Spillane being the main guy on that defense that everybody looked to. He didn't have that. He didn't have that other guy to vent. Not vent, but that other guy to help take some of the heat off of him with
To back
Max
him
out
up.
there, because the two of
Yeah.
them work great together.
They sure did.
Him and Max. So it's like I think once everything fell on his shoulders as being like the because he definitely was the leader of that defense. There's no two ways about it. There's no one else out there on that defense that you could turn to and say that that's the leader. It's Spillane, and with Max not there, everything fell on him.
Mm.
So he probably felt like he had to be in multiple places on the field at the same time.
Yeah, you watch the game, you can tell he was trying to do everything. He was,
yeah, and that's just it. He was trying to do more than he physically can. And I give him all the credit in the world for hustling like he does.
He had to cover for the lackluster performance of the other linebackers and some of the D line. He had to cover for them, so he did a lot more than he should. So you definitely keep him. He's a leader.
He's a leader, and he's one of those guys that's like a Raider from should have been a Raider from day one type of thing. We got him from Pittsburgh, and I could see why he was with the Steelers. They have a knack for finding these great defensive players. Why they didn't keep him is beyond me. Based on what I've seen with him since he's been with us. So yeah, you definitely want to bring him back. Kuntz, yes, and just pray to God that he comes back to the 2023 season for him. Because now you're building on something here.
They probably give him a 1 year or 1+2 prove it deal. They'll probably give him like, okay,
yeah,
you didn't play last year, but we know what you got, so we'll give you 1 year plus a second year option. Prove it.
Yep. And I think he would probably take that too. I like Jack Jones, but
he's not.
He's too much of a.
He's not quarterback one no more. He's
not a steady player either, though. Like he has his moments where he's like, "Wow, this kid's phenomenal." Then he has his moments like, "What the hell are you doing?"
He's a risk. He's a risk taker, which I kind of like sometimes in certain situations, but he takes too many chances trying to get the ball, trying to make a highlight play. I'm like, dude.
Well, he reminds me of he reminds me of Jonathan Abrams when we had Abrams. He wants to go for that kill shot. Instead of wrapping up and trying to tackle someone, and that's more the norm now in the NFL versus what it used to be. Was these cornerbacks not wrapping up, not tackling. Years ago, the cornerbacks were bigger than some of the wide receivers. Some of these wide receivers now are just so well
giants
put together. They're huge. They're strong. Look at DK Metcalf. The guy's a beast. The guy's built like a freaking linebacker.
Yeah.
He's extremely cut and muscular. You can't go up as a DB that's 6'2", weighing about 200 pounds and think you're going to put a kill hit on him. It's not going to happen. He's just going to bounce off of him.
The average 5 years ago, the DB was like 5'10". That was an average like 5, which was like kind of tall for him. Let's say usually wide receivers 6'5", 5'9". Now these guys are like 6'6".
His wide receivers now, they're built different. Some of them coming out are huge. So that's what I don't like about Jack Jones. I like him as a player, but he's just, and he's a hothead too. That's the other thing. You can guarantee a couple of games a season he's going to do something stupid that's going to get us a penalty that either is going to cost us a shit ton of yardage or even the game.
He has some nasty, but he don't know how to really focus that on the field. Because, like I said, if he missed something next play, he makes even dumber mistakes. He don't forget the last play. That's his problem.
So
I'll keep him, but
Yeah.
I definitely look for a CB1, CB2. Well, CB1 probably hopefully be JB, and maybe a CB2. Cameron got a little more to go. He got to develop a little bit more. Because, like I said, everybody shit the bed on JB last year. Oh, he sucks. Why they draft him? Well, now y'all talk about him
I
so
think he
much.
was
He's good.
good. I
Yeah,
like the kid. And
the
now
man got to
here's the
go.
other thing. Now, if in the draft, if that kid from Michigan, he's there for us and we take him, that's gonna knock Jones out of a playing spot. I can tell you that right now because the kid will probably
Oh
beat
yeah.
him out. You know,
Oh yeah. The
so
kid. If Michigan,
but
yeah,
that
definitely.
gives us depth. I mean, he's in there as a positional, a situational player at that point.
I wonder how Jackson would fare at playing a slot receiver. Like he doesn't tackle well like Nate Hobbs does. I don't know if
Yeah,
he'll do better because he does have the speed
and
to
that is
play
the
the
one
slot.
benefit with him. He is fast.
Yeah.
Wow. But I just I'm excited now for this season. What's up, Rundown? What's up, brother? I am excited now after the
Oh,
news
run.
today.
Yeah, it's a
So
relief. It's like so it was tense last night. I could tell you were kind of tense last night. What was going to happen today? And I
I
was kind of
was
like,
I
I
was
had to
actually
tell you, like,
genuinely a little nervous last night because I
uh,
can't tell you how many times I kept refreshing ESPN, NFL.com, CBS Sportsline. I had the NFL Network on after the game to just watch and see what was going on because I
yeah,
just
that's
had
why.
this feeling that if it was coming down, it was going to come down last night.
That's
And
why.
I was up,
That's
dude.
why I left because I
I
had
was
to
up
drink
till
some
four
monster to
o'clock in
stay
the
up.
morning.
I bet. I left and said,
I was
okay,
literally I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning my time, keeping
let
refreshing
me go to
everything
bed and
and
sleep on
watching.
me and wake up with good news. I woke up at like what? I woke up at like 6 o'clock, turned TV on and YouTube and the news. And I'm like, what's going on? What's that? AP prep time's coming up. Oh, okay, here we go.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's what happened. I got nervous because I finally went to bed at like about 4:30 or so, and then but I slept straight through to like 11 o'clock my time a.m. And I'm like,
Uh,
as soon as I woke up, it wasn't even like, "Hi, honey, I'm up," the dog or anything. It was like, "Oh shit, I got to check the sports news."
that's,
That's the first thing. I'm laying there. I'm like half awake. I don't even have my reading glasses on. I can't see anything. The phone's all fuzzy, and I'm just like, I'm trying to look through. I'm like, all right, I don't see anything. All right, we're good. And
yeah.
I just took my time getting up after that.
I have a certain routine I do every morning. Get up, run to the men's room and go make my coffee.
I didn't
Like
even do that.
smoke, like me to smoke, sit down there, look at the dog, make their fed. I gotta immediately turn YouTube on. I like and the news. I like they get fired. Oh god, the press conference. And I gotta wait another hour. Gosh, but yeah, I mean, let them run it back a year. So what? You went 4-13. If people look at their history, a lot of first year, especially rookie quarterback, head coaches, don't do well their first year. They come to another team. They don't have their players,
Mm-hmm.
so they can't implement their scheme they want to do because the players can't run the scheme that they want. So that AP, like he said, some guys got to go. There'll be some new guys in. He wants his guys there, his style of players. Let him run it back. If he goes 3-14 next year, hurt. That's it.
No. Yeah. It's yeah, Tanner Jacket. This was a long season. I said it yesterday. I said it felt like this was a 30-game season for some reason. It just seemed like it just was never ending.
Just,
It's like every time you turn around, it's like, oh shit, we're playing again. No, we're not today. But that's just how it felt. Like even yesterday's game, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is the longest half I've seen, first half I've witnessed. This seems like it was taking forever for the first half. Normally, first half is usually it rolls by pretty quick. But I was like, good Lord, what is going on? Why is this game taking so long? It's like they're just prolonging the pain and misery for the season by making that game so long. I didn't leave the bar until well after 7:30. I mean, granted,
yeah.
we had to clean up and everything because we had a pretty big potluck. Um, but still, usually I'm home by 7:30. Quarter past 7. I didn't get home until well after 8 o'clock. The night game had pretty much just started. By the time I finally settled in here at my desk, the first quarter was almost over already. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's just how long that whole day went yesterday. I was like, good Lord. But it was still,
I,
was
I have a
hoping we were
feeling.
gonna win, but what are you gonna
I have
do?
a feeling. I know AP was say, well, they're gonna meet with Mark and Tusker. They're gonna fire him. No, they've done it last night or this morning. They're not gonna waste
And that's
time.
what I thought
This
too.
means with me probably more or less gonna be like, okay, AP, what direction are we going? Because you said we gotta get rid of some players, get some other players. Tom Glen's going, you gotta sit there and talk to him like, I need this, I need that, I need this. Mark, I need this. Pay the man. I need this. Pay the man. That's what this is gonna be about. Because if they're gonna fire him, they already did it. Why let him go on a podium and make a fool of himself and then fire him in 5 minutes?
Exactly. Yeah.
That
I
makes
mean,
Mark look that makes Mark look really bad.
that would make the whole organization look like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I
And then
absolutely agree.
if he do that, what other coach gonna want to come in and do? I'm not gonna play for. I'm not gonna coach the Raiders. What he did,
Yeah.
Anthony
So
Davis.
you
I
can
mean,
embarrass me like that?
Anthony
Nah.
Pierce. No,
Yeah. No,
not
you're
ruining my
absolutely right.
career.
I
So
honestly think that if they were really gonna let him go, that they probably would have done it right after the game. Like I said,
yeah,
it was a home game, so it's not like we got to fly back from the East Coast or down south somewhere. We're already at home. He's already in the building. We're gonna do like they did with Mayo in New England. I mean, that game was over, and a couple
30
minutes later,
seconds later,
boom, he
fired.
was gone.
I said, "Wow, man,
I mean,
couldn't even take his
literally,
picture shirt off,
the
man."
game was on. Yeah, literally, because they were a 1 o'clock game yesterday, so the game was on in the bar, so it was on one of the TVs over in this direction, right? And I'm watching and I'm like, oh, Patriots are gonna beat Buffalo. Well, Buffalo didn't start anybody, so whatever. And then not even 15 minutes later, one of the guys in the club walks over. He goes, I just saw they just fired Mayo. I'm like,
well,
no shit. And I said,
the kid,
wow, I wasn't expecting it that. I didn't think they were gonna fire him. But then as I started thinking about it, I'm like, I guess it makes sense. But they
the
didn't
kid
waste
did
any
what
time.
the kid did
I
with
mean, the fans
USC
are
did.
probably still in the parking lot or still in the stadium trying to get out, and the coach is already shit canned.
A kid did what USC did Lane Kiffin, fire him at the airport. He didn't get on a plane to come back home.
Yeah, yeah.
You're fired. Get your own plane. You ain't come back on a team plane. You're like, oh, let's go. But nah, he's not fired. They're gonna have a big meeting about what direction to go to. They're gonna talk about Patrick Young, OC, and all that good stuff. He said he will keep Turner, but there might be other ideals that they can direction they can go in.
Well, there might be other options for OC, and again, that's if Turner stays. I mean, because there were rumors that he wanted to go, with Belichick down in North Carolina. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I haven't heard any more on that in a while. That's been kind of swept under the rug. It seems I haven't heard much at all in that aspect. Um, but if he stays, he stays. I mean, what are you going to do? I'm actually I'd be fine with it based on how the season went after he took over.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean Norm stays? I don't think that makes a difference at this point. I think
Nah,
Scott Turner's made his name right now
he's
with
just an
how he turned us
advisor.
around.
He was
Yeah,
just an advisor to say, hey, this is what you need to do, this and that. So that was good, but I don't think he stays, nor.
yeah.
But, you know, OCs are not really that many out there you can go get after Turner.
During the game yesterday, I think it was during the game. I don't think it was somebody I saw on a podcast that put up the numbers of what the offense was doing prior to
It was
Turner
on a game.
taking over.
I saw that. I saw
It
that
was
stat.
during the game, right? All right.
Yeah.
What the team was doing in stats on offense prior to Turner taking over, and then what they were as of before the start of yesterday's game, and it was a big jump. The number jumps were huge between totally average yards per game, average passing per game, all that. So I mean, it showed promise. It showed that he was changing and making a difference on that offense. So again, that's another bright spot going into next season. If you get him the right pieces to the puzzle that he needs on offense, it's only going to get better. I can't. I don't want to say it can't get knocked on wood. Can't get worse.
Yeah.
We can't be any worse than what we were when Getsy was here. So at least we got something to look forward to, I guess.
Well, I guess, like I was saying earlier, I think somebody mentioned that Well, we still get no touchdowns. Yeah, because we don't have all the pieces. That's you can see what they're trying to run, but the only thing we had was Brock Bowers. That's all we had. That
Tanner,
their team.
You say we need a smarter head coach. Who?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, what do you mean by that? I mean, first of all, AP, it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. So as far as looking for a new head coach, that's almost like a moot point at this point.
What's a smart head coach? I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some dumb ones win too before. So
Oh yeah, I see some complete idiots who want to, win some games, but
it
I
says
don't
that
see smarter.
he was way unwitted by Fatty. Well, I mean, all right. Well, if you're talking about going up against Andy Reid or Harbaugh, I mean, again, look at our division. We got three phenomenal coaches in our division. We got three proven coaches in our division, and three coaches with amazing talent on all their teams. You know, those teams are all fairly put
Built.
together. KC's
They're,
KC. You know,
they're ready.
Andy Reid has been a proven winner when he was in Philly. You know,
Mhm.
the coaching tree that he fell off of has produced a lot of great coaches in this league. You know, Harbaugh is Harbaugh. I mean, it's proven it's in the blood. Look at his brother. You know, look what Harbaugh did in the pros before he went to Michigan, what he did in Michigan, and what he's done in
Yeah.
his first year in LA with the Chargers. You
But
know, and
also, remember this: it took Harbaugh 7 years to get Michigan to where they were.
yeah,
So he didn't do it as soon as he got there. It took him 7 years, and they tried to fire him twice.
you
So
know,
it's not like he's good. I'll give him credit for it, but you know, smart, yeah, probably smartest man, not necessarily. But like I said, it takes time to get teams together. We've been doing Andy Reid been
yeah,
doing it for years. Peyton been doing it for years. So it takes time to get a team together. Even Andy Reid when he got to Kansas City, it wasn't they were mediocre.
yeah. I mean,
They didn't
they were not a good team when he first took over. He built them up to what
yeah.
they are now. You know, and it shows too because if you look, like this year wasn't the Patrick Mahomes show in the offense. It was their defense holding teams to a lower score and their offense doing just enough to win. You
Right.
know, we proved it in 2 games we played against them. We should have
They could
won
have beat him
both of those
twice.
games. And we
Mm-hmm.
sacked Mahomes 5 times in one of those games. You
Yeah.
know, so it's not their offense. And it's obvious it's not their offense because Mahomes didn't even make the Pro Bowl. You know, I
He
mean,
didn't. I didn't
no,
check the Pro Bowl.
he didn't even make it as the third quarterback. You
What?
know, so he didn't even make the Pro Bowl.
I know
You know,
Kelsey didn't.
you got a rookie in there
Brock,
this year.
yeah, Kelsey didn't make it. Brock beat him out. So
Yeah,
yeah, there wasn't no offensive juggernaut by any means.
3 Hall of Fame coaches in our division. We need a Hall of Fame coach to go. But do we
Well,
really need a
who
Hall of
is it?
Fame coach?
Who's the Hall of Fame coach you gonna bring in? Who is the
Yeah,
Hall of Fame coach you gonna bring in? There is none out there.
I mean, Andy Reid to a Hall of Fame at some point. Yes.
Yeah,
Peyton,
maybe. He won
maybe.
one. He won one.
Harbaugh, absolutely not. Not yet.
No.
He's got to win something in the NFL.
All right.
Yeah, he's been to a Super Bowl, but he didn't win it. You
Well,
know,
like I say,
he's
can,
one
can,
on the college side is different. You can't take into equation what he did in the college and say
so
he should be the Hall of Fame based on that because that's
totally
college.
different.
You know, it's a whole different ball game.
So
I'm
tell
only
you, Jack,
counting his.
what Hall of Fame coach?
Oh God.
Belichick. He's going to North Carolina. Can't bring him, man. Who
Yeah,
else? Jesse Mentor. Who?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, all right.
How
Yeah.
about turning the Chargers around in one season? Yeah, he might have turned them. You might look at it that he turned them around. Don't forget that team had a lot of pieces already filled for him. He already came in with a top quarterback. As much as some people don't like Herbert, which I don't. I'm not a fan of Herbert.
Neither.
He already had a quarterback. He
Mhm.
cleaned house with the wide receivers and the running back
Mhm.
because first of all, your two wide receivers were way much older. He brought in a great rookie with McConkey. I mean, the kid is good. You know, the kid is really good. So you bring in a wide receiver, you get rid of your other two wide receivers based on, the fact that their age, their injury issues.
Hmm.
I mean, look at where they went to. They didn't do much of anything where they
They didn't
went.
do anything. When
They had a
they
couple of
left the Chargers, you didn't hear anything
no,
about them. No.
no. You know, Austin Eckler, they let him go. He went to Washington. Yeah, I think he just came back yesterday, or he's
Yeah.
slated to come back by the first week in the playoffs. So
He
he's
been
been
out
out
there.
most of the season injured. And I know that because I had him on my fantasy team at the start of the season, and I had to dump him, you know. So it's like, how much did he really inherit? Or I mean, how much did he actually build there is what I'm getting at. You know,
You already had the defense, so he didn't do much on that side at
yeah,
all.
the defense was pretty
He
much
already had the
set.
defense.
And that's what won a lot of their games too, is their defense. I mean, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, you got Mac and Bosa. Give me a break.
Then that
You know,
middle linebacker, I forgot his name. I don't watch the Chargers that much,
I
so
don't
that
either. Unless
linebacker
they
they got.
play us, it's like the only time I watch them. And
So
then you look at Peyton in Denver. I mean, they already had a decent defense.
yeah,
The only missing piece of the puzzle for him there was a quarterback, and he successfully did that. You know, so I mean,
yeah.
how much
Only court,
guys really
only
built?
only only
AP's
case.
built something. That's the thing. I mean, AP took what was left of the team that McDumdum destroyed, and is piecing it together little by little.
Right,
Along with Telesco. So you
because
want to talk
Andy
about
Reid's
building a team? There's a coach in
only
our division that's building.
only head coach that built something was Andy Reid in Kansas City Chiefs because he
Yeah,
got there. They were trash. Took a couple years. They got Mahomes in the draft. He sat a year. Had what, Alex Smith was the starting quarterback. He sat a year. Then finally they let Mahomes get a chance, and then they start building things. So it didn't take any when they first come to Kansas City, they got a championship. No, it took them 3 years.
yeah, I acknowledge that he coached the 49ers because I even said it that he took them to the Super Bowl. He didn't win it. Yeah, he
No,
took them to the Super Bowl.
the defense took the Super Bowl
Exactly.
because it wasn't Garoppolo.
So he's the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, Minter. Okay.
Oh
The
yeah, okay.
Chargers had the best defense. Well, yeah, their defense was good. I mean,
Look what they got. You got the best safety, one of the best safeties ever. She's
yeah,
in two wins. Like, come on.
I don't think Bo Nix is that good personally. Well, I mean,
He's good in that system.
took his team
Yeah.
to the playoffs.
He's good in that system that
Yeah,
that Peyton's running. So he must be good at their team in the playoffs, and we're not.
and that's it too. You have a head coach that knows how to implement the right system for the quarterback that you're acquiring. And that's what he did.
That's exactly what
He
he
did
did.
just that.
Because he
And which is
said,
what every team needs to do if they
he
have
said,
any aspirations to turn in a good product on the field. You know,
Russell Wilson didn't want to play in his system. He wanted that. That's why they always argue. Russell Wilson didn't want to stay in the system. He wanted to do something else, and that's why they always argue. So you know what, you're out here. You don't play in my system. You got to go. So that's why then Russell always played his. Bo Nix is playing within the system. Do this, do that, do that. So that's why.
Tanner, if you're equating that just to yesterday's game, that you can't even measure him based on that game. You got to look at him and his whole body of work for the whole season. What Bo Nix did. Granted, I am one of the biggest haters when it comes to Denver, KC, and the Chargers. I can't stand any one of those three teams.
Maybe you both.
I could give a shit what happens to any one of them. I hope they all get knocked. I hope Denver and the Chargers both get knocked out next week, and I hope the Chiefs, their first game, they get destroyed and get knocked out too. And then I'll be happy. Then at that point, I don't care who wins from the AFC.
Yeah, me neither.
I just don't want any one of those two teams. I know some people be like, "Oh, you should be rooting for a team in your own division." Fuck you.
No. Hate my division. I don't hate the Raiders. Screw
There's
my
four
division.
teams I never want to see win the Super Bowl from the AFC, and that's the Chargers, the Broncos, the Chiefs, and the goddamn Patriots. I'm done with watching the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I don't really want to hear about them making the playoffs. That's why I'm loving this, that they're not making the playoffs anymore. It's great. But yeah, you got to look at the guy's whole body of work for the whole season. I mean, the kid played out of his tree, but again, that's the coach and the system he instilled with that player in mind, so you can't just equate his, getting lucky yesterday playing against KC because they sat their guys. I mean, come on, be reasonable.
I watch. I don't watch none of the games. My rival teams. I watch some of their highlights. If you look at Bo Nix, he's basically doing a dump and run plays. Dump, they run. A lot of a lot of short ends, a lot of 15-yard outs. And so he's not really throwing the ball down the field. Now and then he'll chunk it, but he's playing within Sean Payton's system. Same thing with Drew Brees did. Played within the system.
Yep. I'll
So
support individual players in the playoffs. So I hope he does too. I would, for Jacob's sake, because I mean he did good by us while he was here. I got nothing bad to say about the guy.
nah, I ain't
He
mad
just
at him.
didn't want. He didn't like the direction the team was going, and I can't say. It's a good thing he wasn't here this year because he would have just been
He'd have been
destroyed.
destroyed. He would have been totally
We
destroyed.
would have lost him to injury with this offensive line. I'm sorry, people can argue
Yeah.
that point with me all they want, but he would not have had anywhere close to the season he had in Green Bay. I think what
No.
hurts Green Bay right now, though, is from what I saw, Watson, their wide receiver, he's out with an ACL. He's done.
Is he?
So yeah, so that's gonna hurt or hamper their playoff, you know, chances of going
I,
further, unfortunately. You
I
know.
don't think they got. I don't think they got rid of Tanner. They didn't want to pay him. They didn't see the value, and I thought it was stupid. Because to that point, the running backs said they wanted so much money, and then they didn't want to pay that. But now the way these running backs running now, they're like, "Oh, did we make a mistake?"
Yeah,
Yes, we did.
I mean, we definitely didn't offer him enough for him to stay here, but I think we also did him and ourselves a favor by him not being here this year because I honestly don't know how good of a year he would have had with us,
I don't think
and
either. I think we're not 8 games.
probably would, yeah, he would have probably got beat up pretty bad, unfortunately.
Good
Uh,
show. I
T,
saw.
T Hill would be good in Green Bay right about now. Yeah, I mean, I know he doesn't want to go back to Miami. If anybody watched that press conference yesterday,
As long as he stays butt out the AFC West, I don't care where he goes.
yeah,
I
he,
love. Hey, he can. If you say, let's get to Tyreek Hill.
dude,
Nah,
if he goes back to
I am.
the Chiefs, oh my god,
I am tired of these I'm tired of diva wide receivers. Let's get our own receivers, build them from the ground up. Draft some. T Higgins, but he gets hurt a lot. Let's get our own receivers. Let's build them up. We got a steady number 2 receiver, so we're good on that. We got a good not a fit receiver, so let's get number 1. Let's build our own. Got the guy from Arizona if you want to. If he's still there, grab him. But I don't want no more divas. We had enough divas. We were AB,
no.
DA. I'm not
I
tired.
mean, is T Hill a diva? Maybe. He's
He draws too much attention from me. That's why I call him a diva. He draws too much.
yeah, but I think what his thing is, they had a good thing going in Miami a couple seasons ago, and it's going to shit. But I mean, how much is it the coach's fault when you've got Tua with his concussion issues? That put a damper on last season for them.
Yeah.
It affected them a little bit this year, but not too much, I guess. Um,
Well, maybe some teams adjust to how
yeah,
they play. So maybe that's like you're not getting all that last year. You're gonna get
yeah,
some. You ain't getting all that. So we're gonna adjust to that. That's what I told this guy. I was arguing with last night on the phone. He was saying, Jaden Daniels. I said, yeah. I wish we could have got him, but we didn't. Yeah, he's it's that Cowboy fan guy I was talking about. Yeah, he's gonna be awesome next year. I said, well, you know what happens when teams see a new coach, a new style of play. They don't know about it. They're gonna adjust to it next year. Might be good, might be bad. What was that coach from Oregon that went to Philadelphia 2 years back, where Philadelphia tortured everybody? They couldn't stop him. What's his name was? Chip Kelly. And he came to Philadelphia, and he was torching the NFL. The first year, second year, the NFL said, "We know your game now." Didn't do squat.
Nope.
So they'll adjust to all that. This is something new for them. It's a new shiny toy. They're gonna play with it, and they ain't gonna break it.
Oh, Higgins, Tanner. That's who you're thinking. Um, McMillan, would be fine with that too.
I'll take him.
McMillan in the draft. It really all depends on. I know we got the sixth pick, so depends on how the start of this draft goes. I honestly think that the two quarterbacks that everybody that's a Raiders fan wants, which I don't.
Unless they fall to
They're going
this,
to be going both by the third pick. The Giants are going to take
unless
one, and I think
unless something happens and one of them falls down to like the fourth pick, okay, trade and get him. But don't trade number one with a bunch of draft capital. No,
I don't want to trade up. I don't like the idea of wasting or using a draft pick to move up. I don't care, even if it's the one we got from the Jets. I don't want to do that for one of those two quarterbacks, because now I think you're devaluing what we can do in the draft by doing that.
I would trade back and get a couple more picks.
And that's what I'd rather do. I'm going to do anything.
Say about I'll take 2 seconds and a third for this number 6 pick. Anybody interested? Yeah, we'll take that. Because there's nobody really in the draft besides maybe 4 guys. You mentioned them too, last night, that were taken high.
Abdul Card is one of them.
Yeah.
Johnson, the cornerback from Michigan's another. Mm-hmm. Those are like the two in the top 6 that are, if they're there for us, I want us to. If they're both gone and those two quarterbacks are gone, then I would be okay with trading our first round pick to move further back in the first round, and then possibly pick up, a first rounder next year and a second this year. Yeah. If somebody wants to move up that high to number 6 and grab somebody, that's where we're going to get value for a pick.
Well, that's what Kansas City did. They built the team through the draft. That's exactly what we got to do. No more getting these old washed up players trying to redo their career and then leave.
Yeah. And Pig, that's why Hill probably won't come here, because we're still a few years away from even being considered, being real contenders, so that's why he wouldn't be here. So Sam Demand, so 4 to 6 wins is what you're thinking for next season for AP? Oh, here we go, another one.
Dedicated Raider fan, huh?
Yeah.
You guys, did you see my post I put up on Rundown Show? That $10 super. Did you see that?
I didn't see the super chat go up.
Okay,
I was
go back and
look around a little bit in the house doing stuff.
Go back and look at either Ultimate or Run's post I put up $10 super. See what I said.
All right.
And these guys come on. I'm not gonna put it up again because I was pissed off. Like, you guys are not true fans.
No, just
a true fan will stick with it. Stick with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, God knows you and I have stuck through some real nasty fucking teams through the years. This is, I still think this is one of the worst seasons I've ever witnessed. But how much am I really gonna blame it on AP versus?
I blame on front office. I don't blame this year's front office. I can't blame this year's front office because this is a whole new kind of GM, whole new how we're gonna set this up thing. So 1 year is not gonna make a big difference. I blame it on the last 5 years, like you said, 5 years. I blame it on Gruden and Maylock when they started it off.
Yeah,
it
goes back as far as them, definitely.
That's what it took
definitely
off.
Goes back that far already. Still, yep. And McDumdum didn't help at all.
No,
really.
Take your way, my ass.
He telling you that hurt us more than people realize how much that actually hurt us.
Who did he draft? We still on the team? I think it's a couple people, right? They drafted Kuntz, right? Yeah.
I think Kuntz came from there.
JB came from there.
Bennett, yeah, he did, right?
Yeah, he did. Did
he come from that one?
Yeah, because it's the second year. This year,
I think McCormick was in that. Maybe. McCormick's been here what, 3
No,
years?
she was there 3 years, for 3 or 4 years. He was this
I think. Oh,
special
was
teams
he
player, special
undrafted?
teams.
Yeah.
He was a drafted free agent. He's been on the team for like 4 years, I think. And
I know
he,
Jacoby came over as a free agent while he was here. That was like the one lone bright spot as far as I can remember.
yeah,
As far as draft pick, oh, AOC was his draft pick,
fourth round. Yeah.
AOC 12.
So you still got a few of those McDummies still there. Some of them
Yeah,
were good. Some, like AP said, I love what you said, like presser. You know, some guys we're going to keep, some guys we're going to let go, and we're going to find some new guys. I like that.
yeah,
So he's basically putting the word out. I'm the head coach. This is what we're going to do. That's what that meeting is going to be about today
yeah,
or tomorrow, whenever they have that meeting. They're
yeah.
going
You're
to
setting a precedent going forward as to what we're gonna do. Yeah,
they're
definitely.
going to pencil and a piece of paper, write down. All right, who you want to keep? These guys. Who you want to get rid of? These guys. Who you need? I need these type of guys.
Yep,
That's what's going to happen.
yep. And who he visions, you know, who he visions to bring in free agency that's gonna help. That's the obviously that, like we said earlier, that's the next step after they solidify the OC and the DC what they're doing there. You know, that's what I expect to hear within this next week is, you know, I expect them to come out and say either Patrick Graham's staying with us for another year. Scott Turner's going to stay as our offensive coordinator. Okay. All right. We're
Come on.
washing our hands and we're moving on to free agency now. So now let's start getting the players that these two coordinators need to build this team going forward. And then once we get the free agents set up that we want, now let's seriously start digging into the draft. Even though the scouts are already still going to be doing all their work for the, for preparing for the draft and giving their input, you know, but let's address the free agents first, and then we're going to be going into the draft. You know, the Senior Bowl games, which AP should be at, which most head coaches do go to.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be going there to watch those and see what they can pick up from some of these kids. You know, and then the combine, same thing. You know, you're going to have the combine coming up soon. You know, some of these players, their stock's going to rise and drop. Like Scatterbo, I guarantee his stock's going to rise. You know,
Dart is going to rise. You ever worked for a temporary agency before?
No.
In your younger days? Okay, I have. You know, when you were a temporary agency, they hire you as a temp to fill in a place for somebody else. So you might work there for a week, 2 weeks, a month, even like 6 months. I worked for one of 6 months.
Yeah.
You work, you do your best because you know you're a temp, but you don't feel part of the team or company. That's what interns feel like. Scott Turner's an intern. So if you get the full OC, now he feel part of the team. Now I am the Raiders OC. I'm not just a temporary. So if he gets that tag, or you know, OC, watch what happens.
Yeah.
Office. Right now he's just temporary, trying to do his best he can so he can keep the job or maybe get another job. So, but like I said, you think you guys got to go on him?
What's up, AR? How you doing, brother?
He has a lot of miles on him though. Him and that guy from Boise State. I don't want to.
Oh, Genty. That's why I'm not a fan of Genty because of that.
A lot of miles.
They ran the living shit out of that kid.
Yeah, bought a used car, man, for a new car price. No, I don't want that.
Yeah,
100,000 miles. We want 2,000.
You know, and I think the other thing that scares me with him a little bit is, you know, in that bowl game, it was one of the tougher teams that they've had to face all season. And I know this is going to sound weird, but they kind of shut him down. Granted, he still had, he had like 106 yards. I know that's still, you know, for me to say that, you know, 106 yards is being shut down. Well, when you're averaging 160 plus every single game and you get held to just barely over 100 yards in a game, that's kind of shutting them down in a way. So that's taking a 100-yard rusher and holding them to like 40 yards.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same equation if you look at it that way. You know, so if you got somebody that's averaging close to 160 to 200 range per game, and all of a sudden you hold them to 100, that's pretty successful in my opinion. You know.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I mean,
he was the offense of Boise State. He just ran.
yeah,
And
and it was
like I said,
BYU. It was it BYU, right? They played.
BYU beat them there.
Yeah, and BYU's defense was pretty damn good.
They always been good on defense.
So I mean that that's does that mean he's gonna go like he's gonna drop far? No, I don't think so. I think I tell you right now, he's not getting past the Cowboys. Absolutely not.
Oh heck no. Nah.
Jerry Jones is still gonna rock hard
Yeah,
on.
he's salad. He's
He
salivating.
wants him in the worst way.
He's salivating. He wanted him bad.
Oh yeah,
Well then, Cowboys trade some picks and move up to 6. You can have them.
I'm telling you, they're a team that I would seriously consider trading with to give them us number 6 pick. We move up to I think they got the 15th. Move back to the 15th, and we're still going to score some decent players. You're not going to get a quarterback in the first round.
No, we're not getting
anybody after those first two, is worth taking in the first round at this point. At this point, things could change after Senior Bowl games and such, and after the combine. That's different, or the pro days. Stock could rise and fall.
Right.
But as of we sitting here right now talking, there's no other quarterback that could fall into the first round right now. The closest would possibly be, in my opinion, would be either Gabriel from Oregon or more than likely Jackson Dart. And if not into the first, but very early second. I like Dart now that I've seen more of him lately. One of the guys that I'm on with, LV Rated 10, he's been touting Jackson Dart since I first met him very early in the season.
He's a USC kid that played on the Kingsbury. You know that, right?
Who, Dart?
Yeah, he played Kingsbury, but then Caleb Woods came over from Oklahoma. Was Oklahoma with homeboy, and then Dart went down second string. He said, "No, I want to start." So he left. That's why we talked to Fallon about the portal last night. That's when I do that. That is good. This guy is a starting quarterback. He brings somebody else. He starts. He's gonna sit on the bench for the next 3 years. By the time he gets to start, he's already graduated.
Yeah,
already had 1 year.
Yeah.
So went over to Ole Miss. Yeah, Ole Miss. So yeah,
it was Penn State, right? I thought so. That's what I thought.
Oh, it's Penn State.
Yeah, who did BYU play? They beat the piss out of them. Who the hell was that?
They beat in the bowl. BYU.
Yeah,
badly. I don't know who it was. I thought it was
oh wait a minute, no, BYU played Colorado. That's what it was. Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was Penn State. I wasn't. Yeah, all right. Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, they made Shadur Sanders like a rookie. This is the first time playing.
Dude, he had negative 30-something yards. That means either you're. How do you get negative 32 yards as a quarterback that's supposedly athletic? I mean,
yeah, Cowboys pick number.
I mean, would they sack him 10 times? Holy shit! I don't know how many they did. I'm just throwing this stupid number out there.
Dallas picked number 12. So if they want to trade it up to number 6 to get their boy, because I look at it, Frisco is over them. They need a running back. Bears, they might need one. Saints, they need everything in the house. Panthers,
Yeah,
I think Panthers need receivers. I don't think they need a running back. They got a decent one there now, and then the Jets, don't tell them what they're going to do. So if
the Jets are fucked up.
The Jets number set it right after us. So
get
their running back, we'll trade. I'll trade.
If the Jets can move up themselves, they might take a quarterback, or they might trade back to. Either way, they're going to be taking a quarterback at some point in this draft. They're going to have to, because Aaron Rodgers is not coming back. Devontae Adams is not coming back. So, I think you're going to see other players that want out of there. Supposedly Garrett Wilson wants to get the fuck out of New York.
Yeah, I'll take him. I'll take Garrett Wilson. He's still young.
You want to trade him to us, and we'll trade you the number 6 pick, or we'll do something else. Second round, I don't care. I mean, I'd take him.
He's still young.
Yeah. He's only been 3 years in the league.
Yeah, he's still young, and he's still got it. So I'll take him.
And he's a good player. You get him a decent team.
We're not getting the two quarterbacks.
Aaron Rodgers experiment in New York. was a horrible, horrible move to begin with.
When they're not getting two quarterbacks, no matter what, because Browns, Titans, and Giants, they're gonna one they those three gonna fight it out. Well, not the Titans, but they're gonna fight out for that other quarterback.
I
So
wouldn't be
we're not
surprised if
getting
the
one of the
Titans didn't.
quarterbacks.
I can't see the Titans going back into another season with Will Levis. I don't know. Plus, I mean, the other downside for Tennessee is they really have no other they have no other weapons. You
They
know,
got rid of their weapons.
I mean, when you go and get, you let Derrick Henry leave.
And AJ
I mean,
Brown
he was the only viable offensive threat on that team, to be honest with you.
and
You
AJ
know,
Brown, you let him go too. So
yeah. So it's like you did away with half, most pretty much all your offensive firepower. Didn't leave you much.
yeah,
It just, I don't know. I'm just happy for what I saw today in that press conference. It,
me
it
too.
felt it felt good. Um,
I was
you
just mad
know,
all these comments in the chat. The Raider fans like, wait, first year before last, y'all screaming AP. So he has a bad year. He made some bad decisions. He hired the worst offensive coordinator in the history of football. Uh, he started the backup quarterback. Yeah, he made mistakes. Everybody does. We're not perfect. Now you want to throw him on the bus? Oh, we were 4-13. You got to go. So my question was to when I got in the chat, who are you going to bring in? We know who's off the table already. So who
mhm.
else? And that's what Max Crosby was saying earlier in this podcast thing. He wants consistency. Every time he comes in training camp, there's always somebody new.
Yeah, you think about the years that he's been here. He's had 3 different head coaches already.
Mm-hmm.
3 different head coaches, an interim head coach, a second interim head coach that became the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's like in the time frame that he's been here, you're right. He hasn't had stability. So now he's going to be going into a second year now with AP as the head coach.
Right.
So
They got
this is
chemistry. They got to
yeah,
know each other.
and I
So
think his input will be huge on helping keep Patrick Graham here. He needs
yeah.
to sit down with Patrick Graham himself. I'm talking Max and say,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I don't want you to leave. You're what's holding this defense together. That's letting me do what I do as my position player on this defense. I don't want you to go anywhere. We need you to stay here and help us move forward. To build on what we already have. This year was a complete disaster with injuries, but they held
Yeah,
it together on the defense and they stayed
they did.
competitive.
And they still were good. I'm gonna say they
Yeah,
were like they would never. I think in a couple of games they lost it, but they at the end where they got the score like they lost 36-19. I'm just hypothetically saying
yeah, a
that.
lot of it's garbage time.
But the game was close all the way through to the end.
Yep.
All the way through the end. Like you said, you can't
They
more.
sent the card in already.
Nah, I don't know whether the Giants got anything to say about that. They probably trade their future for him. They probably say, we'll take you 3 number 1
Well,
picks
doesn't
next
Tennessee
year.
have the first pick? The Giants don't have
Yeah,
number 1 because the Giants won. So
they don't. Giants got number 3 pick. Browns got number 2. Then Patriots
yeah,
got 4. Now Patriots are an interesting thing. I don't know who they're gonna take.
who, the Patriots? Yeah. To be honest with you, I mean, because Drake May's not a bad quarterback. I mean, he played okay, but the problem is he's got no wide receivers.
None.
That's where I could see them either moving back and still taking a wide receiver, or just taking a wide receiver at the number 4 spot and calling it a day.
There were rumors last year before the season started that the Patriots are interested in trading for Jacoby Myers. Can bring him back. They said nope.
Nope, that can't happen. We won't let
I'm
him
glad
go.
that was
We
that.
can't let him go. We
No.
need him because if we bring in a free agent that's going to be the number 1 or draft a wide receiver, we're going to need a veteran playing opposite of him that we can trust that's been
A
on the team
stable.
already.
A
Yep.
stable.
And like he even said in his press conference today, talking about Jacoby Myers, how much of a team player he is and how much he means to this team and to the players on this team. They all love the guy. You know,
Hey,
that's
you
why
know
they
what?
went out of the way to get him those, those throws to, get him to 1,000 yards.
And you
You
know what?
know,
You never hear anything about him. No news breaks,
no,
no nothing. He don't say anything stupid. No TikTok or not. You never hear.
he was that way when he was here in New England. You know,
Uh,
you only knew about him because of his performance on the field, and he was a
yes.
he was a good wide receiver here for them. You know,
Yeah.
which is why I've said this already before, that when I heard that we were getting him as a free agent, I was excited because I knew what his capabilities were. I'd seen him do it here in New England for, those years he was here. You know, that was their one of their bright spots on offense was him. You know, so and he came as advertised. I mean, he's he he stepped up when needed. You know, he wasn't
He
a
was
true number
clutch.
one wide receiver, but he became one once Devontae
He
Adams was gone.
he was clutch when they need that 5
Yes, he
yards.
was.
He got him six. He got him
Yep.
six. So he was clutch. I mean, he's not a burn. He's not a barn burner. He's not going to run down the field and make the 90-yard catch. But you need
Yeah.
6 yards.
And
Cousins, get
Larata,
out of here.
that is a
Get
big
out of here.
fat no from me.
Get out of
No,
here.
no Cousins to no. Yeah, and like and I just said this too. Yeah, you're right. Offensive tackle for sure, yes, for them. But they the only real true offensive weapon they really have right now is their tight end Henry and Ramondre Stevenson, their running back, and Drake May. You know, so they need a wide receiver. They're either gonna have to pick one up in free agency, which I could see somebody like T Higgins going there. You know,
Mhm.
that's their type of guy that they like.
Yeah.
Um, it could even be Godwin coming out of Tampa Bay after the season because he's a free agent too. You know, but I
Yeah.
could see like a T Higgins going to New England. He's that big wide receiver, and then they also draft a rookie wide receiver, followed up with an offensive tackle. You know, it all depends on who they hire as head coach in New England.
Hey,
Is really what
I,
it comes down to.
I don't care. Fuck New England.
Yeah, Kobe deserves whatever he signs for. Yeah, he does. I think you break the bank to keep this kid. Actually,
I
is he
like.
a free agent this year?
No, we got 1 year left.
He's
Next
not,
year's free
right?
agent.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So he's not going nowhere. Unless the only way he goes somewhere, they
But
trade him
we could
or
re-sign
try to.
him now, and help our salary cap a little bit more too. That's also a possibility too.
I like to be a fly on the wall in that meeting with Mark Davis and Telesco and
Yeah, really,
AP.
huh?
I would love you. I know what they're talking about. They're talking about
Yeah.
who they keep and who they're not going to keep. They don't say anything till later.
Oh, that was you. I didn't even
Yeah,
notice the name right
I'll just give you a pig. Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
know
I
that's
mean,
what they're doing.
it did. It was just. I just hope that by the end of this week, um, we clarify, or the team clarifies, who's going to fill in, or who's going to fill out the rest of the coaching ranks. Let's get the coaching ranks straightened out this week.
I don't think
Let's
they're going
not.
to do that now. They're going to wait at the Super Bowl. I think they're going to wait to see, just in case there's somebody in one of those playoff teams that they can use. I think they're going to wait to announce that. They might announce uh, Patrick Graham if he stays. OC, he said Turner, but that's still like maybe not, because I heard Kubiak is coming up in the talks now. Like,
Yeah, I've heard that one too. See, as
uh,
far as Patrick Graham, I mean, that should be a no-brainer. We shouldn't even be looking for another DC. We should just be working on getting him to agree to stay with us, and forget about even searching for. Unless he is so adamant and determined not to come back and cleans out his office now and leaves, then obviously, then now we definitely have to look for a DC. But the
yeah.
priority is getting him back on board to sign an extension so he stays. And like I said
Oh,
earlier in the show, where they sign him to an extension to where he's also named as the assistant head coach, which means he's pretty much the exact right hand man for AP. So if AP's let go, he automatically is the interim, no one else. And then, you know, possibly where it's in his contract that he would also be the next coach to take over in the event that AP gets let go. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
so
fair.
I mean that is possible. They could do just like they did in New England with Jared Mayo.
Yeah, that's fair.
Uh, do we re-sign Moring? Mm.
We can give him a
Yeah,
chance.
he would be one of the ones that I think we should keep. Diablo, I'm done with him.
No, he's gone.
Hobbs should, I think Hobbs, yeah, Hobbs should stay too. I think,
I'll sign Hobbs, but it has to be really cheap because he can't.
yeah,
He hasn't played a full season yet since he's been a Raider. No, maybe I think he might have won, but he's always hurt.
yeah.
He can stay on the field, so I'm not getting over the big paycheck. So, um, who was on that list? What's somebody else? Yeah, Epps. I'm thinking about Epps. Do we resign Epps?
Um, he's another one that was out injured most of the season too.
Yeah,
Actually, didn't he just come back too? Did he play yesterday?
I didn't see him. Or if he was out there,
I
he
guess
didn't do.
I didn't get a chance to watch most of the game because of everything going on at the club yesterday. It was just such a busy freaking day for me there. Um,
I didn't see anything. I didn't see if he was out there. He didn't do anything. He was out there for
I
a
thought he was
moment.
available. I thought he was available the last week or two. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I would be fine with him coming back. Um, Diablo is the only one that I'm just dead set against. I think at this point,
Hmm.
Snowden's going to be gone. I can't see us keeping him. Not after his
I don't know why he's
awful.
still on the team after a
Yeah,
DUI. Like, come on, dude. You know what
yeah.
happened last time?
Well, I
Jesus.
think they pretty much kept him just because of
What we have
emergency
to tell.
depth purposes at this point. You know, now that the season is over, you know that's probably going to be the end of his time with us. Which sucks because he was coming on at one point. He was looking good this year.
Yeah, he
Then he's
was.
gonna go and pull a harebrained move like that. It's like, dude, come on, what are you doing? You know. Uh, so
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna cut it short right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off. I had
So
to eat my breakfast yet. I got up. Like I said, I had barely one cup of coffee. Got up, watched the news, got on, and so I didn't eat my breakfast yet. I'm still kind of hungry. I need some coffee. So,
yeah,
um,
my dinner's done. I've already been getting the shout outs from down the hall. Um,
I'll be on later in the chats with the other
I
guys come up.
know I know Leo and them are going to be on tonight. 10 o'clock
Yeah,
your time, Chris.
7 my time.
7 your time. Sorry, 10 o'clock my time.
Yeah,
So everybody check them out.
yeah, because
See what's going on with this show.
Turf's in Minnesota right now, freezing his butt off.
Yeah, I'll be off in a minute.
So, he won't be on tonight. Anyway, all right, Raider fans, stay true fans. Stop hating on
Yeah.
AP. It's over.
Yes.
Just look ahead. All right, I'll talk to you later, Jeff.
All right. See you, Chris. Thanks for coming on.
All right.
All right. So I think I'm gonna call it quits for a little bit now. Um, Tune in on Wednesday night, the Raider Connection. It's myself, LV Raider 10, uh, Cheeto Lannis, and Just Win Raiders Baby J. We will be going over, I believe, end of the year stuff, the last game of the season. And then just picking up, probably talking about what happened today with the press conference and any other news that develops between now and Wednesday. Thursday night, it'll be myself and LV Raider 10 on the Raiders Coast to Coast. We'll be going on at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. East Coast time. And that's about it. Hit me up on any _ Raider boosters. If you go to this Linktree account tab, you will see all of the social media content for the New England Raider Booster Club. That'll take you to everything: website, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're on everything. So everybody hit that like and subscribe. We appreciate it. So we can keep this comment and content coming to you guys. I appreciate everybody that jumped in and watched and interacted in the chat. As everybody says, chat lives matter. We appreciate everybody that follows all of us. We do what we can to keep the content coming. So until next time, everybody, go Raiders.